It was pretty loud.
That's crazy. Yeah. And you hear that all the time, huh?
All the time.
Where's Tack? Is he around when this is happening?
What if you find out that Tack was doing it?
That's what I mean.
The guy?
Yeah. What if Tack's a werewolf?
What if when he says
a vampire?
Oh, what if when he says he's going to karate, he's really just going to kill creatures?
Right. I think that's an exotic excuse for I'm going to go out. You just say like I got to go to work and check on a few things. No one says I'm going to karate and then does something weird, because karate in and of itself is kind of out there. Well, I'm going to go chop at the air while wearing pajamas. Really, I'm up to something kind of kooky. Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense.
That martial art is hundreds of years old, and you just tore it down to chopping the air while wearing pajamas.
Well, anyway, I'm sorry.
I hope.
My apologies to an entire way of life.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Can I'm sorry, for my mom's sake, she doesn't think I'm ugly now.
Well, that's a big...
I felt like I made her a bad
out.
mom because she was like, you were an ugly baby. But I actually appreciated the honesty instead of her just being
There's no reason to be honest at that point. That's something you're supposed to be honest about.
What do you know? You don't have to be honest. It's like, okay, Mom, you were going through a lot. You just gave birth and you had an ugly baby and you were sad about it. That's okay.
Yeah, but maybe she smushed you a bit on the way out.
She smushed me.
Well, you had to pass through your mother, so maybe she smushed you.
How? Please explain.
Contracted. Maybe gave you a little smusheroo. So maybe it's her fault.
She did it on purpose?
Yeah. Maybe she felt you coming out and she said, tell me when the face is coming out. And then they said, the face now. And she went, I smush you.
She is a cursed puss.
I smush her face. Your mother timed it.
What is wrong?
Your mother timed it and then what are they, Hegel crunches?
Kegels.
I thought they were named after Dr. Hegel.
No.
Oh, whatever. There's Hegel crunches and Kegels.
Kegel exercise.
Okay. So anyway, your mother was like, just tell me when face come out so I can give it a harder time for first 15 years.
The accent is so insulting. But also very accurate.
But tell me, doctor, tell me when face come out. And I do Kegel. And then the doctor's like, okay, if you want, and the face is out now. I smush you!
Oh, my God.
What is wrong with you?
Just got dizzy.
Oh, no.
I just laughed so hard that the blood went out of my head.
To come full circle.
I smush you! Who says that to their baby as it's coming out of the vaginal canal?
I'm giving a look to the camera like, wah, wah.
To come full circle, you look at that camera and you apologize to America right now.
America, I smush you!
And my mom.
You know what you did, Nadia.
No.
You smashed her! She's beautiful now, but all those years of unsmushing, the operations, the procedures. Just tell me when face passed through. Okay, that's unusual. We don't... I smush you! All right, I need a drink and I need some pills immediately.
Yeah.
I went too far. I love your mom. Love you, Nadia, but you know what you did.
I'm telling you that's how I grew up. And so I think sometimes I become angry, Sona, when I see how much you're getting all this great help from your parents.
You did come in a little angry today. And I think your way of releasing your anger is just to shit on me.
That's terrible.
It's been what you do. It's my job security. It's fine.
Listen,
I get it.
Your father has that amazing mustache and he's taking such good care of your boys, as is your lovely mother.
My mom, yeah.
And you've got all these cousins and everyone comes from the neighborhood and they all hold the baby. You've yet to hold your own children.
I can't believe you begrudges. She had twins. She's a working mom with twins, and you're begrudging her getting help? You monster.
Exactly. I resent it.
Go get some soap. Let's wash this guy's mouth out.
I resent it. And please make sure it's Irish Spring.
Up.
Yeah. Well, this is why we've been driven to this gig, I think.
You both have things that are really not diagnosable. They're just neurological.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, I don't know. You might have stuff too. I don't think, do you go to a doctor and stuff?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I know that your parents are very old school. Yes?
They are old school.
And you tell me all the time that your father grew up in a village, right?
Yes.
And so I don't know if you grew up, I don't know what happened.
Did they what?
Did you grow up in a small village?
You know what? We weren't as dependent on doctors as a lot of people are, but maybe that's a good thing.
Sure.
But I don't think I have anything with my body that's like a neurological thing. I mean, I feel like you guys like that should be more concerning, but you're both like, whatever.
When you say it's not a bad thing that you never went to the doctor as a child.
Yeah.
I said we didn't rely on doctors as much as a lot of
You
people.
said dependent, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's
But
not
the first
bad
time I
to
met
have
your
to,
dad,
like-
I noticed that he has a pipe going through his head. And I said, well, what about that pipe? And he went, oh, it'll go away on its own. He said, this truck ahead of me dropped this off on the highway and went through my head. 1969. But it'll be okay.
Why do you pick on my dad so
I love
much?
your dad.
I know.
He's got the best mustache I've ever seen.
My dad's the best.
What would their remedy be for his neurological phantom itch?
Yeah. What would your mom say to do? Because I do trust she has some old like folk remedies.
She does have, she's very much in the old sort of like voodoo thing. Like when we wanted to have babies, I think I told you, she like buried a baby under a bush.
I like
Not
it.
a real
wait,
baby.
she
Not a
buried
real
a baby?
Not a real
What
baby.
the
Sounds like she should have just given you the baby.
Wait a minute,
Why
wait a
didn't
minute,
she
wait a minute.
give you the baby.
Wait a minute.
Doll, a baby doll.
What?
And guess
So
what?
you've gotta-
It'll work.
Can I say something? You've got to say that.
Okay.
You've got to say that was so upsetting.
You did bury the lead.
You
and
it's
the
so
baby.
upsetting. We really wanted a baby, so she buried a baby in the backyard. What a monster.
Yeah, no, it was under a
was
bush.
It was a baby doll.
It was a doll. She buried a doll under a bush.
Was it
still
one of
there?
the? Is it a talking doll?
No, once we had the boys, she was like, it's done. It worked.
Can I say something? I was by your house, remember the last time, and I was walking around the backyard, and I stepped on a loose piece of grass, and I heard, "Mama, Mama."
That baby's still alive.
No, it's a talking baby.
Where
One
is
of
this
those-
baby? So somewhere there's just a dirt-crusted baby sitting in your mom's house? Or
Yeah.
Probably hundreds of them.
what? Oh, God.
Yeah,
Blue
for,
Mouse, are you
for every day that Sona was married. For every day Sona was married, she would do it. 900 plastic baby dolls were stolen yesterday from a Walmart, plus a shovel. If police find either one, please
Oh,
report.
man.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, they would. I really think you two need to figure out why these things are happening to your bodies.
I think we should talk to your mom.
Yeah.
I think my
Because
mom could fix it.
Can we have her in?
Yeah, your mother, because I've noticed in the past when I have not felt well, you have told me, oh, here's what my mom would do, and it sounds pretty cool. Like your
Yeah.
mom has good. I'm saying this. It sounds like she has really good remedies for some things. The burying the plastic baby. That seems
There's
little...
a few missteps, but for the most part, she's been pretty. Like my brother and I are pretty healthy people. Like we're okay. We're alive.
Yeah, you don't sound convincing.
Yeah, we're alive.
Well, okay, Mr. Needle Legs and weird itch on my back.
Phantom itch,
Restless legs, thank you very much.
restless leg, and
You two
phantom
are fucked
itch.
up, and you're getting mad at me because of the way I'm dealing with my
We
body
never got
shit.
mad at you,
We didn't
and
get
we're
mad
not
at
Yeah,
fucked
you
up.
you come from a very judgy place.
I don't think so.
No.
Yes, you are. You're coming from a very
This
judgy
whole thing
place.
started with you going, you guys need to get that fucking checked out.
Yeah. You went from telling us you got to get that fucking checked out to my mother buried a baby in the backyard.
That we're allowed to judge, by the way.
By the way, that some judgment is in order.
Oh,
I think.
it worked.
Like
I have
the
two.
sentencing.
How do you think my two children happened? You think that just
Well, I have
happened?
a theory.
Today, Tack was saying the guavas aren't coming in, and so he was like, "Does it skip a season?" It's like, I don't know if fruit trees work like that.
I'm just. The whole point of this introduction was for me to explain how I'm trying to protect the listener from this kind of banality. This.
You have a pomegranate tree.
I have a pomegranate tree, yes, because I
Here we go.
threw a reception for you and Tackasizian. This is a given name.
It's just Tack. That's not his last name.
I think it's Tackasizian, but anyway, I threw a wedding reception for you guys, and your parents very nicely gifted me with a pomegranate tree, which I
Right.
happen to know has great meaning in the Armenian world.
Yeah, it means prosperity and fertility, and I think it means.
Well,
fertility.
guess what? Since we planted that tree, my life has gone to shit. That tree is a blight. My teeth fell out. Beckett has turned his back on my son, turned his back on me and will not speak.
That's not the tree.
Crows perch on my head whenever I go outside.
It's not the tree.
No, it's not the tree.
I know, and I do
Yeah.
keep a lot of
crow food in my hair.
We should discuss quickly that you've hit a milestone, Sona. Your twins are now 1 year old.
I kept my 2 boys alive for a year.
Well
it really
done.
does feel like that. I'm not even joking.
I remembered my wife saying the same thing about our daughter, Nev, when she hit 1 year old. My wife turned to me and said, I kept her alive for a year.
Yeah.
So I completely understand that.
Yeah, especially now when you're not, there's 2 of them too, so you're not always looking at them. And then sometimes you'll look over and one will have a full-on twig in his mouth just eating it. Or like, a rock that they're just eating.
Where do they get a hold of these twigs and rocks? Are you in the house or outside of the house?
We chill outside.
You're feeding your kids twigs and rocks?
Well,
That's not the twig I gave you to eat.
One time I was in the same room with them and they opened up the glass sliding door and they crawled outside, and I didn't know until I heard Mikey squeal with just laughter, and I look over and they're not in the house at all.
God.
They've just fully crawled. I was in the same room with them. So this is why I'm
And
really
then
excited.
you hear a car
that
start up.
I kept them alive. They hotwired the car.
Road trip.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It'll always make me laugh when either a little child wanders off camera and there's a pause, or an animal wanders, and then you hear a car start up. It always cracks me up when a puppy rounds the corner and then you hear a car start up.
Yeah. But your feelings toward Charlie haven't gotten any better, and I think that
I have beef with Charlie. Yeah.
But it's been months, and he's a 1-year-old. But every time you're like, "How's Mikey doing?" I'm like, "I have 2 kids."
I intentionally only ask how Mikey is because Charlie didn't laugh when I was doing my shtick, and man, was I working it. He wasn't going for it, so I decided, all right, this isn't happening.
He's
between
dead
us.
to you.
He's dead to me.
He was so little. He was a little baby.
So what? He dissed me, and it's up to him to settle the beef. That's
He's
the way
gonna
to look
drive
at
to
it.
your house and settle it.
Well, congratulations. That's a
Thank
big
you.
deal.
Thank you very much. I know.
But now
And-
they can move and
Yeah.
walk. I remember because I remember very clearly when you told me that the babies had been born. Because in the womb, I didn't know what to call them. I called them Rub and Tug.
You did. We've never really discussed this, but you called my babies Rub and Tug.
Yeah, because they
And,
didn't have names yet. And then you said, I've given them these great old ancestral Armenian names, Mikey and Charlie.
When you guys saw them, did you just say this one's a Mikey and this one's a Charlie? You had those names ready to go?
No. I think someone handed Tack the paperwork, and he panicked and just put those 2 names. I'm not even kidding. We didn't know what we were going to name them, and then he just wrote those names down on the
Wait,
birth
but
certificate.
Wait,
What?
what? That's how,
I'm
that's
not
how you
even
came up
kidding.
with the
Yeah.
name?
have discussed those names.
We talked about certain names, but we hadn't settled on them. And then I walked in, and he's filling out paperwork, and I said, "Are you writing names down?" He goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, which names?
He
are
also
you
wrote down their
writing?"
religion as Islam. Oh, I panicked. I just wrote Islam. Hey, for city of birth, you wrote Akron, Ohio. I just panicked. Wait, these aren't their footprints that you put in there. I know, I panicked. I used our cat's paw print and our adorable's footprint. I just panicked.
He did.
You said right here, occupation astronaut. An oil speculator. I panicked. I thought I had to write something, so I wrote it down. I would love that if all these crucial things were handled by, hey, our kids are going to the military academy? I panicked. They're going to West Point. They're 5, Tack.
Can you believe they got in?
I panicked.
Oh man, it is. It's fun, and Glenn's not far behind because she's exactly 3 months younger than the boys.
Yeah,
so
she's 9 months
she's
now.
9 months.
And acting every day of it.
Well, I wasn't around for the raising of my children.
No, that's probably at best.
I had a